How to create an ISO 27001 organization overview and ISO 27001 organization template walkthrough. So for our ISO 27001 implementation, we're looking at implementing an information security management system. That information security management system has to have links and ties back to our organization and our organization overall. Making that link and making that connection isn't necessarily something that needs to be written down and documented, but we do need to be able to evidence it when it comes to the ISO certification audit. And the best way, the simplest way, and the easiest way to do that is to create our organization overview. The benefits of creating our organization overview are that that information is going to be shared and understood by everyone in the organization. It gets everybody on the same page, and then when it comes to that audit, it's something that we can reference and something that we can look at that directly maps to the standard and meets the requirement. So let's have a little walk through the template and how you can create one if you're creating this yourself. So this is the walkthrough. So the purpose of the organization overview is to set out what our organization is, what we do, and what our company objectives are, so that we can build and implement an information security management system that's aligned with our organization and meets the requirements of that organization. So let's have a walk through the organization overview template now. So the organization overview of the organization and context that informs information security. On all of our documents, you can see that we've got document markup. This is the one and only time I'm going to go through it, as this is the first in the series. We have our document markup. We have our version control. We have our classification. We have the date it was last reviewed, and we have the document owner. Every document is assigned an owner. There are videos and templates on that. We have our version control. Our version control table is a table that sets out what has changed within the document, who made the change, when they made the change, and what the current version of the document is. This allows us to evidence that this is a living document. This isn't shelfware. This isn't something that just sits there and hasn't been used. We have our document contents. For our organization overview, we're going to look at providing an introduction. We're going to provide some information about us. We're going to provide some information about our products, our services, our locations, our mission statement, our values, and our business objectives. All of this is going to allow us to position ourselves and position when we build or when we built our information security management system to show that it is aligned and we understand ourselves completely. So, introduction. This document provides an overview of our organization when building our information security management system. We took into account the information contained herein to shape and influence how we operate it. Now, whether or not this is true or not, the auditor wants to see that you have a full understanding of who you are and that that influenced your information security management system. You will see that you need to provide some basic information about you. Here it's called about us because it's about you. So what we want to do here is we want to provide a brief description. This is for somebody who's come new to you. Specifically here we're looking at an auditor, but anybody that's come new to you, tell me a little bit about you. Consider taking the information from your marketing page, your marketing literature, but provide me with an overview, provide the auditor with an overview about who you are. Then what we want to do is we want to list out our products and services. What is it that we do? What do we actually provide to people? What is it that people buy from us? What are those products? What are those services that we are looking at that we as an organization deliver that may or may not be in scope when we get to scope, but so we have a full understanding about what we do. Then what we want to do is provide an overview of locations. This is important because as we start to build our information security management system, factors such as legal and regulatory compliance come into play. If you are in a multi-jurisdiction deployment, you may have various laws and regulations that apply to you, or even if you're in a single location, right? Specifically, you just need to understand where it is that you're located. What we're also going to provide here is locations of things like our data centers or our cloud-based services if we know them. This is where we're looking at, if to the level of granularity really that is appropriate to us. So if we know that we're in AWS, do we know what region we're in? Can we narrow that down? It may be the case that for data centers and cloud services, you can narrow it down to particular countries or particular regions, or it may just be that you only know it at a super high level. But let's provide that understanding of the locations. Let's provide an understanding of if we operate remotely and we've got a remote workforce and whether or not we're a hybrid. All of the things that you can see that are going to start to influence us and influence our management system that it is going to have to take into account. Then what we want to do is we want to provide a copy of our mission statement. If you have it, this may be something that exists again within marketing materials or on your website. But understanding, what is the mission of the organization? What is it that you're hoping to achieve? What is it that you set out as your stall, as your direction of travel that it is that your organization wants to do? Again, this can influence the information security management system directly, right? Things like, seeking aggressive expansion or profitability, things that are going to influence what it is and how it is that we go about building our information security management system. Then what we want to do is we want to set out our business objectives. Ideally, your business, your organization has objectives. And if we know what those objectives are, we can make sure that we're supporting the organization in the delivery of those objectives through our information security management system, that we're not negating them, that we're not going against them, or that we're not going about our information security management system in a way that is directly contradictory to those. So we're going to set out what our business objectives are. This is a nice, simple, easy document. It is actually something that when it comes to the audit, if you as the information security manager or somebody is in that audit with you fully knows the business, then clearly you should be able to articulate this and talk this through. But if it isn't, oftentimes, an information security manager, a project delivery individual for ISO 27001 may not have that information, right? So we're showing the link between us as an organization, all of the factors that are high level that make us up our objectives and our mission statement, and we're showing that we took that into consideration when we built our information security management system. So when it comes to that, FAQs that are associated with that, does it have to be written down? It doesn't have to be written down. The benefit of writing it down, as I say, is that it's just easy to communicate, it's fast, it will make that audit go so smooth, and it gives you continuity of information if you need to provide that or do a handover or somebody new comes to the organization, and it's good information to have at your fingertips. Who is accountable and responsible for this document? It's probably going to land with the information security manager, the person delivering information security management and the ISO 27001 project, because it makes their life easier when it comes to the audit. It isn't a mandatory document, but it's definitely a good practice and a best practice, and it's an absolute ideal starting point when we come to our 27001. So that was the ISO 27001 organization overview. We're going to now move on as we work our way through the ISO 27001 toolkit and those key mandatory documents that we need. So until the next tutorial, peace out.